Dear students, we learned various modes of asexual reproduction in lower organisms, and also we learned how sexual reproduction takes place in plants. And let us now discuss how sexual reproduction takes place in human beings. As you are all interested in knowing how that process takes place in human beings, let us study some of the general concepts before learning them in detail. So you have seen the female species of the human being giving birth to a baby. So when the baby is born, so you will notice the enlargement of its body as the time goes. So it will develop milk teeth in its upper and lower jaw of the mouth. So those milk teeth get lost. The baby will lose its milk teeth as the time goes and develops the permanent teeth. So these are some of the body changes you observe generally. So these general body changes are different from that of some of the other changes takes place in the body of that growing child. So when the child attains its teenage, so there will be appearance of some of the characters in the body of that child. So what are the characters you observe in the child? So when the child is attaining its teenage, so there will be changes in the appearance of its body, and the proportions of the body also get changed, and new features will going to appear, and the child will sense some of the new sensations. So when the child attains the teenage, so when it enters the adolescent period, so there will be some changes which takes place in a different manner. The growth in the body, so it begins to cease for a while. So growth in the body, so it becomes slowed down, and you can see some of the changes in the reproductive structures. So you can see some of the changes which appear in the body like this. So when the child attains the age, for example, girls attain the age, so in between 10 to 12, and boys, so when they attain the age of 12 to 14, so there will be some characters you can notice in them. So some of the characters you notice in them, so they involve change in the appearance of the body, then proportions of the body parts also changes. So some new features will going to appear, and the child will start sensing new sensations. So all these are you can notice in those boys and girls. So some of the changes which are common to both boys and girls. So we can observe some of the changes like this. So we can notice the development of thick hairs on the regions. So like armpits, genital area. So genital area between the thighs. And you can notice the skin of those areas, armpits and genital area between thighs. So the skin becomes darker. So thinner hair appear on the legs and arms as well as on the face region also. So skin frequently becomes oily, and because of that the girl or boy might begin to develop pimples on the face and some of the body parts. So these are the changes which we can observe, so in both boys and girls. So let us learn some of the changes taking place in girls and boys in particular. The changes which appear in girls which are particular to them. So here first one is the breast size begins to increase with darkening of the skin of the nipples at the tips of the breast. So breast of the girls, so they become increased in size, and you see the nipple becoming darker in color. So they begin to menstruate around this time. So you will learn later. So what is menstrual cycle? So every month the female species, so it starts producing egg. So that is called menstrual cycle. So boys begins to develop thick hair growth on the face. You will notice the development of the beard or moustache on the face of the boys. So their voices begin to crack. The voice of the boys will be like that of the girls when they are smaller. So as they attain the teenage, so their voices begin to crack. And the penis occasionally begins to become enlarged and erect either in daydreams or at night. So penis is the reproductive structure of the boys. So it becomes erect, enlarged. So either in daydreams or at the night time. So all these changes you can notice in boys and girls. So what do you call this period? So this period is called puberty. So puberty is the period during adolescence where the rate of general body growth begins to slow down and reproductive tissues begin to mature is called puberty. So at the age of puberty, the general body growth of the boys or girls begin to slow down and the development of the reproductive structures, so they start developing. So this period is called puberty. All these changes which we observed in boys and girls, so they take place very slowly over a period of months and years. So these changes do not happen all at the same time in one person, nor do they happen at an exact age. So in some people, these changes happen early and quickly, and in some people, so it takes place very slowly. Also, each change does not become complete quickly. For example, in boys, hairs on the face appear as a few scattered hairs for the first time. Then slowly hair growth begins to become uniform all over the face, that is in the form of moustache or beard. So these changes show differences between one person to that of the other. So for example, we have different sized and shaped noses and fingers. So like that we have different patterns of hair growth also. So like that boys and girls, the size of the penis and breast also is in different size and shape. So all these changes are aspects of sexual maturation of the body. So why does the body show sexual maturation at this age? So this age is considered as adolescent period. So in teenagers, the period during adolescence is called puberty. So as we have learned, so puberty is the period during the adolescence where the rate of the general body growth slows down and the reproductive tissues begin to mature. You are observing the structure of human female reproductive system, which consists of the parts like oviduct or fallopian tube, ovary, uterus, cervix and vagina. Here the ovaries produces the female germ cell or egg. So along with that, it also produces hormones like estrogen and progesterone. So you will be learning the structure later. So in girls between age 10 to 12 years and in boys between age 12 to 14 years, secondary sexual characters begin to develop where reproductive tissues begin to mature. So in multicellular organisms like human beings, so there will be specialized cell types called germ cells which participate in sexual reproduction. So in boys, the reproductive structure testis begins to produce the male germ cells or gametes known as sperm. So in girls, reproductive structure ovary begins to produce female germ cell or gamete, so which is called egg. So at this period, the general body growth begins to slow down and reproductive tissues begin to mature because of the production of certain hormones released by the glands. You will be learning that glands are special structures present in our body which produce chemical substances called hormones, so which are released by some of the specialized cells. Here you are observing the structure of male reproductive system, so which consists of the parts like urinary bladder, seminal vesicle, prostate gland, penis, urethra, vas deferens, scrotum and testis. Here in testis, the male germ cells or sperms are produced. So testis is also responsible for production of some of the male hormones like testosterone. How do all these changes are linked to the reproductive process? So whatever we learned till now, so they are having link with the reproductive process. Let us see how is this link. Sexual reproduction is one which involves the union of male and female gametes. Otherwise, sexual mode of reproduction means that germ cells from two individuals have to join together. So this can happen by the external release of germ cells from the bodies of individuals, namely male and female species. Same thing you have learnt in flowering plants, so where they produce pollen as male gametes and ovules as the female gametes. So when the two individuals in animals join their bodies together, internal transfer of germ cells, that is sperms and eggs, takes place where they get fused. So for this, the two individual animals are to participate in a process called mating. For the process of sexual reproduction in human beings, the state of sexual maturity must be identifiable in both male and female individuals. So the male reproductory organ penis should be capable of becoming erect to release the sperms. The female reproductory organ, so ovary, should begin to produce egg every month. So in a process called menstrual cycle. Moreover, as the baby is to be carried in the mother's body for a longer period, so later is to be breastfed with the nutritious milk, the uterus or womb and breast need to mature to accommodate all these possibilities.
Let us see different parts of the female reproductive system. Ovaries. There are a pair of ovaries in the female reproductive system that contains the prematured egg cells. Oviducts. There are two oviducts which unite into an elastic bag-like structure known as uterus. Uterus. It is called the womb where the implantation and development of baby takes place. Cervix. The uterus opens into the vagina through the cervix. Vagina. It is the passage where sperms are deposited by the penis of male reproductive system during sexual intercourse. Now let us see the production of female gametes. When do girls start producing egg cells? When a girl is born, the ovaries already contain thousands of immature eggs. By reaching puberty, the eggs start maturing. One egg is produced every month by one of the ovaries. The egg released by the ovary is collected in the fallopian tubule. It is the place where fertilization takes place by the fusion of sperm and egg cells. How do the sperms reach fallopian tubule? The sperms get deposited in the vagina of the female reproductive system by the penis of male reproductive system during sexual intercourse. The sperms travel towards fallopian tube and finally reaches the egg cell and fertilizes it. The hormones released by the ovaries prepares the uterus to receive and nurture the growing embryo. The walls of the uterus become thick and richly supplied with blood to nourish the growing embryo. The fertilized egg, the zygote, gets implanted in the lining of the uterus and starts dividing. Placenta is a special tissue that helps the embryo to get nutrition from the mother's blood. It is embedded in the uterine wall and provides glucose and oxygen to the embryo. Placenta also transfers waste generated by the embryo into the mother's blood. The development of the child inside mother's body takes approximately 9 months. This period is called gestational period. The child is born as a result of rhythmic contractions of the muscles in the uterus.
Let us learn female reproductive system. So you are observing the diagram of human female reproductive system where the parts are oviduct or fallopian tube. Here you are observing fallopian tube. So which are connected to the left and right ovaries. Here you are observing elastic bag-like structure called uterus which has got a opening called cervix. So cervix in turn is connected to vagina. Here these parts, ovaries, are the female reproductive parts which are responsible for the production of female germ cells or eggs. So these ovaries also are responsible for the production of hormones like progesterone and estrogen. So when the female baby is born in the uterus of her mother, so already thousands of immature eggs will be there in the ovaries. But the girl, when she attains her puberty, it is in between the age 10 to 12. So every month only one egg is released either from left ovary or right ovary and it released into the fallopian tube and reaches the uterus. The female germ cells are made in the ovaries, so they are also responsible for production of some of the hormones. Here one egg is produced every month by one of the ovaries. So the egg is carried from the ovary to the womb through a thin oviduct or fallopian tube. The egg released from the ovary, so it reaches the uterus or womb through this thin oviduct or fallopian tube. So the two oviducts unite into an elastic bag-like structure known as uterus. Here these two thin tubes called oviducts or fallopian tubes, so they are connected to a bag-like structure which is elastic in nature called uterus. So the uterus opens into the vagina through the cervix. So this uterus part is entering into the vagina through the part called cervix. Let us learn male reproductive system. Here you are observing the diagram. The parts of the male reproductive system consist of this urinary bladder. So this is prostate gland. This is seminal gland. Here you are noticing the ureter. This is penis, urethra. So this is testis. This is scrotum. So this tube is called vas deferens. The male reproductive system consists of certain portions which produce the germ cells and portions that deliver the germ cells to the site of fertilization. The formation of germ cells or sperms takes place in the testis. Here you are noticing the testis. The sperms are formed inside the testis. These testes are located outside the abdominal cavity in scrotum. So this is a pouch like structure which is called scrotum. So testes are formed inside the scrotum. The sperms formed are delivered through vas deferens. Here you are noticing a tube, so that is linked to the testis. The sperms formed are delivered through vas deferens, which unites with the tube coming from the urinary bladder. So this vas deferens is linked to the tube coming from the urinary bladder. This is urinary bladder. So your tube coming from urinary bladder is linked to the tube that is vas deferens. So here you are noticing the urethra. So this urethra forms a common passage for both sperms and urine. Here the sperms are generated which comes from the vas deferens, and urinary bladder consists of urine, so that comes through this portion and both sperms and urine will be delivered through this common passage called urethra. Along the path of the vas deferens, you find some of the glands like prostate gland and seminal vesicle. So they add their secretions into the urine and sperms. Sperms are tiny bodies that consist of mainly genetic material and a long tail. You are observing a long tail here that helps them to move towards the germ cell. That is female germ cell. Here some of the frequently asked questions are like this. Why testes are located outside the abdominal cavity in scrotum? Here you are observing the testis presented inside the scrotum. So this scrotum region is always present outside the abdominal cavity. So testes are located outside the abdominal cavity because sperm formation requires a lower temperature than the normal body temperature. So outside the abdominal cavity, scrotum will have Soulet's temperature of about 35 degrees centigrade. So you notice always normal body temperature around 37 degrees centigrade. So outside the abdominal cavity, scrotum will have 2 degree less temperature than that of the normal body temperature, that is 35 degrees centigrade. So another question which is asked will be like this. Which is the hormone secreted by the testis? What are its function? Here testis produces a hormone called testosterone. The functions of testosterone are: testosterone regulates the formation of sperms. It brings about changes in appearance seen in boys at the time of puberty. Another question which is frequently asked is, how do glands like prostate and seminal vesicle help sperms with their secretions? The secretions of the prostate gland and seminal vesicle makes the transportation of sperms easier. These secretions provide nutrition to sperms.
Let us learn what happens when egg is not fertilized. We know that male germ cell is called sperm and female germ cell is called egg. When sperm fuses with egg, it results in the formation of zygote. So if this egg fuses with the sperm, the uterus prepares itself every month to receive a fertilized egg. So when egg is said to be fertilized, so when egg is fused with sperm or it receives sperm, it is said to be fertilized. So every month ovary releases one egg. So uterus prepares itself every month to receive a fertilized egg. So when egg becomes fertilized, otherwise when it receives sperm, so inner wall of the uterus so become thick and spongy, which is called endometrium. The inner lining of the uterus becomes thick and spongy. This would be required for nourishing the embryo if fertilization had taken place. So what happens if this egg is not fertilized with sperm? So that egg gets degenerated. If fertilization has not been taken place, the egg dies or degenerated. So if the egg is not fertilized, the inner lining of the uterus is not needed any longer. So the egg usually remains alive for only one day If this egg is not fertilized with the sperm, it gets degenerated. So the inner wall of the uterus is not needed any longer, so the lining slowly breaks and comes out through the vagina as blood and mucus. The inner lining of the uterus slowly breaks and comes out through vagina as blood and mucus. Here in the diagram you can notice whatever endometrium or inner lining of the uterus is formed, it gets broken down and comes out in the form of blood and mucus. So this cycle takes place roughly every month, which is called menstruation cycle, which takes place for 2 to 8 days. The inner wall of the uterus comes out in the form of blood and mucus. So this is called menstruation cycle. To revise it again, every month ovary releases one egg. Uterus also prepares itself every month to receive a fertilized egg. So inner wall of the uterus called endometrium becomes thick and spongy. So if this fertilization has been not taken place, so this endometrial wall gets broken down, it breaks down, so egg gets degenerated. So lining of the uterus slowly break and comes out through vagina as blood and mucus. This cycle takes place roughly every month, which is called menstruation cycle, which takes place around 2 to 8 days.
Let us learn about some of the aspects regarding reproductive health. Reproductive health is the state of physical, emotional, behavioral and social fitness for leading a reproductive life. According to World Health Organization, a total well-being in all aspects of reproduction, that is physical, emotional, behavioral and social aspects, is considered as reproductive health. When we discuss about problems and strategies towards reproductive health, so India was among the first countries to initiate actions and plans to attain total reproductive health as social goal. So these programs are called family planning programs, which are initiated in the year 1951. So government is undertaking some of the programs like RCH programs. So these are the improved programs covering reproduction related areas which are in operation. So RCH is nothing but reproductive and child health care programs. So these create awareness about various reproduction aspects and provide facilities and support to build reproductively healthy society. So there has been increase in the population of our country. So population explosion. The increase in size and growth of human population is called population explosion. So during the time of independence, the Indian population was about 350 million, and when a survey was conducted in May 2000, the population crossed 1 billion. So this increase in population is in the alarming growth rate, which is resulting in scarcity of basic requirements such as food, shelter and clothing. The reason for high population explosion are decline in death rate, longer lifespan, decline in maternal mortality rate, decline in infant mortality rate, some religious belief against birth control, lack of reproductive health knowledge. So here in this lesson, the textbook committee is providing information for all the children about reproductive health. Here there is one data showing how many get pregnant per year. Let us learn some of the contraceptive methods. Before learning those methods, let us see what is the definition of contraception. Contraception aims to control birth by using contraceptives. Prevention of contraception Let us learn about contraception methods. Contraception aims to control birth by using contraceptives. Prevention of conception or fertilization of ovum during sexual intercourse is called contraception. An ideal contraceptive should be user-friendly, easily available, effective and reversible with no or least side effects. The different types of contraceptives are natural or traditional method, barrier method, intrauterine devices, oral contraceptives, injection and implants, and the last one, surgical method. So there is a natural method which acts like contraception method. It works on the principle of avoiding chances of ovum and sperm mating. Some of the natural methods include periodic abstinence, withdrawal or coitus interruptus, lactational amenorrhea. So there are physical contraceptives which are considered as barrier methods. This method prevents contact of sperm and ovum by barrier. So these are available both for male and females. First physical contraceptive is considered as condoms. So these are the barriers made of thin rubber or latex sheets. It can be self-inserted and disposable. So these condoms covers penis in male and vagina or cervix in female. It is used so that semen do not enter the female reproductive tract. So these condoms also prevent some of the sexually transmitted diseases like AIDS. Second physical contraceptive includes diaphragm, cervical cap and valves. So these diaphragms makes a barrier which is made of rubber latex. It can be inserted into the female reproductive tract to cover the cervix. So these block entry of sperm through cervix. So this diaphragm is reusable. So there are certain spermicidal creams, jellies, foams along with these barriers. Next, physical contraceptive method includes intrauterine devices, IUDs. So these devices are only used by female. These are inserted under the guidance of doctor or nurses, so in the uterus through vagina. They are available as non-medicated IUDs, copper releasing IUDs. You can see copper T here, T-shaped contraceptive device. So there are certain contraceptive methods which include injections or implants. Progesterone alone or in combination with estrogen used as injections or implants under the skin of female. So these act similar to pills or tablets. So these are effective for long periods. Here you are observing one medication in the form of tablet which act as emergency contraceptive. These methods are used within 72 hours of coitus causal in unprotected intercourse. So in this pill there is a combination of progesterone and estrogen which is administered to the person. Here you are observing three types of contraceptives. So first one you are seeing oral contraceptives which are considered as tablets which will help in stopping the formation of eggs inside the ovaries. Second one is condom. So this acts like barrier device which covers the cervix. The third one you are observing here is copper T, which is considered as intrauterine device. So this copper T is fixed into the vagina. So there are surgical methods which act like contraceptive methods. So it is also called sterilization method. So these surgical methods are advised to both male and female to prevent any future pregnancy. So this surgical method blocks gamete transport, thus preventing conception. Sterilization in male is called vasectomy and in female it is called tubectomy. In vasectomy, a small part of vas deferens is removed or tied up through incision made on scrotum. Here you can observe how vasectomy surgical operation is done in female reproductive system. So here you can notice the vas deferens being tied and cut. So in females, so there is a surgical operation called tubectomy where fallopian tubes are tied and cut. Let us see what are STDs or sexually transmitted diseases. Diseases are infections which are transmitted through sexual intercourse are called sexually transmitted diseases or venereal diseases or reproductive tract infections. Some examples of sexually transmitted diseases are gonorrhea, syphilis, genital herpes, chlamydiasis, genital warts, trichomoniasis, hepatitis B and HIV, human immunodeficiency virus, which is causing acquired immunodeficiency syndrome or AIDS. So what are the different modes of transmission of these sexually transmitted diseases like hepatitis B and AIDS? Some of the modes of transmission are sexual contact with infected person, sharing of injection needles, sharing the unsterilized surgical instruments, transfusion of blood from infected person to healthy person. This disease gets transmitted from infected mother to fetus. Except diseases like hepatitis B, genital herpes and AIDS, other diseases are curable. So what is infertility? Learn about infertility. The couple unable to produce children in spite of unprotected intercourse is called infertility. Problems of infertility may be seen both in male or female. The reason for infertility may be physical, congenital diseases, drugs, immunological or even psychological aspects. So in India, often female are blamed because of this infertility. Infertility is related to males also. Let us learn what is infertility. The couple unable to produce children in spite of unprotected intercourse is called infertility. Problems of infertility may be observed in both male or female. The reason of infertility may be physical, congenital diseases, drugs, immunological or even psychological aspects. So in India, often females are blamed because of this infertility. So this infertility is related to the males also. Specialized healthcare units like infertility clinics diagnose and they provide corrective treatments to have child. So when treatments are not enough, couple are assisted with techniques called assistive reproductive technologies, otherwise called ART.
Dear students, so far we learned various methods of asexual reproduction in lower organisms. We learned sexual mode of reproduction in higher plants, that is flowering plants. So we learned sexual reproduction in animals, especially in human beings. So we learned the structure and functioning of the male reproductive system, female reproductive system. So what are all the secondary sexual characters taking place in boys and girls? So we learned how the menstruation cycle occurs in the females. So we also learned the ill effect of the increased population, so which leads to the lowering of the standard of living of people. For that we learned various modes of contraceptive methods through which the population of human beings can be controlled so that the people can live the quality of life. So at last we learned people who cannot reproduce can have child by the advanced technology like the in vitro fertilization.